Welcome back to Countdown to Game Day, covered by State Farm. All right, we're going to project in the future, and I mean like a really far future, because we're going to talk about the 2027 draft class. So the players we're watching right now that are sophomores, but they are shining on the women's college basketball stage right now. So the future is very bright, to say the least. Here are some notable names that will be going to the W in 2027. JuJu Watkins, Hidalgo, Madison Booker, MiLaysia Fulwiley, Mikayla Williams. You name it, they've got it, and you see the numbers to go along with it. Let's start with your girl, JuJu Watkins, because on any given night, she can drop 50. We've already seen this season the takedown of UCLA, not once, but twice, and she led the way for her Southern Cal squad. What do you make of her and how she can translate to the next level?
So JuJu is a California kid. She was born and raised in the era that the Sparks were dominating. She looked at Candace Parker growing up, and now she's able to view the league and through a lens like, hey, I'm going to be here soon. She said lately she's been looking at A'ja Wilson. So the versatility that JuJu brings is going to translate very well to the league. And JuJu has the ability to carry a crowd. She's a marquee player who's electric at the biggest moments, just showing out, making people around her better. But going back to the A'ja and Candace thing, those are forwards. So JuJu is a guard. She has the shiftiness that can even take that to the next level. And so JuJu is going to make a great franchise player in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And she said she's one of those people that's like, hey, what do you need me to do? I'm going to do it.
And then she's going to do it really well.
Right.
Really well.
Right. She'll change and we're seeing that now. Players changing an entire dynamic of a franchise. JuJu's one of those young ladies, and we're happy to have her in college basketball for the foreseeable future because we don't need you to go anywhere just yet.
I mean, not yet.
How about another great one in Hannah Hidalgo? And they're vying for Player of the Year nationally at this point. Currently second leading scorer in the entire country. Who's Hannah's comp in the W right now, if you can even find one? She's unique.
You know, I always think that Hannah is 101, but we have to make a comp. So how about her Notre Dame sister, Skylar Diggins-Smith? I'm looking at the offensive intensity. I'm looking at the defensive peskiness. What is it?
Peskiness.
Peskiness? Yes. Thank you, because I was just trying to rhyme still on my flow. But Hannah Hidalgo brings it every day. She knows how to move that ball. She pushes in transition. She's aggressive. She does not like to lose either. So you can see that reflected in her frustration or her electricity on the court. Hannah can move the ball, get her teammates involved. And we just love seeing her defend on the other end. Like, she's your worst nightmare. You think that you have a good, clean shot. She's coming out of nowhere with her speed. Notre Dame's one of the quickest, fastest teams in the Division I. And so you see her run you down. She's going to either block or pick your pockets.
Yeah, you better.
Same way with Skylar. Pick your pockets.
Play your entire game. Bring the intensity. Yeah, the peskiness, the intensity. Obviously, the basketball skills, the X's and O's are great, but it's that attitude, that edge they play with.
Some in them hoops.
Yeah, it's those big hoops. Do I have attitude?
You have Hannah Hidalgo
hoops. Am I channeling my Hannah today?
God, look at you go.
Look at that. Okay, moving on to Madison Booker, who has shown such maturity in year 2 at Texas. They are now the #1 team in the entire country, and it's really been on the back of Madison Booker. How about her in the W in the future? And if you're looking at current players right now, who does she compare to?
You know, this one's hard for me. The 4 that really is active and gets involved. I don't know, Taylor, like when you see Texas and what Maddie brings, what do you think her strongest asset is?
A little bit of everything, but really I go back to her maturity. She brings this level of calmness to this basketball team. So again, you want to say Hannah and the X's and O's, she does great, but it's that intensity and fire she brings. For Madison Booker, she's intense too, but it's this level of calm that I see out of her every single game. So that leads to consistency.
Personality-wise, then I'm thinking Napheesa Collier, right? Like that could be, I mean, the skill set is different, but I'm wondering if the calmness that Maddy Booker has, if she can get her shot off just like that, if it's reminiscent of a Napheesa Collier.
She just obviously looks good, man.
Yeah, and that's how Fee's game is. She's pretty calm, she's pretty consistent. She can make things happen for her team.
Not always flashy.
Yeah, just does what she needs to do and can do it in different positions, whether that's 20 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet drive. From range, it doesn't matter.
All right, I like that. I like that one a lot. Okay, if you're looking at this draft class as a whole, because we just rattled off only 3 names, and we showed you that graphic before with a handful, there's a lot of players coming out in 2027 that can be difference makers. Look at the past for former W classes. Is there an overall comp?
Okay. I don't know what's in the water, of class of 2027 with that star quality. But if we're looking at star quality, I'm looking at you, class of 2008 and class of 2013.
Okay.
2008, Candace Parker. Like, we already comped JuJu to her. Candace Parker went in those McDonald's All-American games, won the dunk contest. But look what she did at Tennessee. She was on every newspaper. Like, forget what she did on the court. Obviously, transcended generations of basketball. I could talk about Candace all day. That is my personal GOAT, and I know, like, I can hold that bias because it's almost undisputed. But for Candace, she changed what the game looks like for college basketball and the enthusiasm around it. And I think this class has that capacity. I think that JuJu Watkins has done that for Southern Cal. She's brought out the crowds in LA. And yeah, like, look at that. Sylvia Fowles, Candace Wiggins was the Stanford star. Sylvia Fowles just retired, you know, a couple years ago. They have longevity in the game, and I anticipate this class having that too.
Really celebrated players.
Celebrated, marquee, just getting
Game
people
changers.
the landscape of the WNBA right now is household names. It is fighting for more because the product is great. The landscape of women's college basketball right now is household names and fighting for more because the product is great. It's very much a direct reflection of the times. This class of 2027 is going to continue the trajectory that class of 2025 will have and 2026 will have.
Oh yeah.
This is a generation that has not ever had to grow up around not having a WNBA. They know they can go pro stateside. Now they have other leagues to go pro in as well. So there's all these resources, all this visibility, all this growing interest, and honestly, NIL too is making them. The marketing is through the roof, so it's taking them to a different echelon outside of their skill set. I know we didn't really talk about MiLaysia Fulwiley, but with Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks, when you look at players that come out of that program, they are league tested because Dawn Staley knows how to make pros. They go in and out of her program with patience because you're not going to be the star player coming in as a freshman in South Carolina, which is why a lot of people choose otherwise. But Dawn Staley prepares her players unlike anybody else. And I'm looking at the player comps for MiLaysia because she's a walking highlight reel.
Yep.
Let's see. Maybe Arike. Doesn't take as many shots, but maybe Arike. Maybe Kennedy Carter with how she handles the ball, how she's able to, you know, give the flashiness. We talk about lack of flashy from certain players and just getting the job done. That is not MiLaysia Fulwiley. She will give you a highlight package like that, honey, like that.
When her number's called, she's going to give you something.
But that's marquee. That's entertainment, and that's what class of 2027 brings. They bring entertainment.
Legacy. That will be their lasting legacy, is entertainment and just pure joy watching these players hoop. And like I said, we are grateful to still have them in college basketball for a little while longer. The WNBA can wait for right now, but they're going to do great things in the future. For Ari Chambers, I'm Taylor Tannebaum. That's a wrap.